Janice Cobb of Save My Pet ID Tag. Engraved with your pet's info, they allow emergency personnel to start care for your pets if you're sick or injured. Head over to SaveMyPetIDTag.com and explore products. They ensure peace of mind for you and for your four-legged family.
She's a rising star in the field of pet nutrition, and she's on a mission to improve the quality of pet food and being nice to the planet. Please welcome to our show the nutrition manager for the brand Petcurean. I call her the possum, Natalie Williams. Welcome, Natalie.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
Hey, guess what? We get to really dish about pet food and treats. And checking about you, Natalie, you are a good example of someone who looks at opportunities and says, oh, this might work. And you've volunteered, you've gone to different conferences. Get us back to, is it the University of Guelph in Canada? You were undergrad and then somehow you said, oh, I think I'd like to get a master's. So can you walk us through that?
Yeah, so the University of Guelph, it's a tough pronunciation.
But that's a great veterinary school there.
It is, yeah. Super well known for its veterinary college and also the production side of things, animal nutrition, dairy nutrition, swine nutrition, poultry nutrition, and recently pet nutrition. I was in my undergrad at the university, actually not interested in pet nutrition at all. I was taking a lot of human nutrition courses. Okay. I didn't even really know about the world of pet nutrition until it was my fourth year. And I saw a pet nutrition course and I thought, I love pets. I love nutrition. This makes a lot of sense. I went to the course my first day and I describe it as my light bulb moment that this is awesome. It's exactly what I'm interested in. It combines my passion for nutrition with my passion for pets. I ended up going up to the professor the first day of class and said, this is awesome. Just want to introduce myself. And she offered me to go for lunch and we got talking. And then it turned into me doing a research project in my undergrad and then rolling over to start my master's at the University of Guelph. So I graduated with a master's in companion animal nutrition from the University of Guelph back in 2018. I have been with Petcurean ever since.
And share this with people that are listening, because I always believe the best kind of person you can be is both a student and a teacher. And to have that light bulb moment, we sometimes think we have to be on a certain path and do this, but a little bit of a curveball sometimes is good for us, right?
Oh, for sure. I actually really like talking to students today because I was there not too long ago.
Oh, no. You're not a boomer. I know. I can tell.
But yeah, a lot of students, especially students at Guelph, they go into animal science really focused on wanting to go to vet school.
Okay.
And a lot of them do, but it's also super competitive. And for those who maybe don't get into the veterinary route, I always like to talk about all of the other opportunities that there are in animal science that can be other opportunities that they want to pursue. And I especially like the world of animal nutrition and the pet food industry in particular, because we get to work to make pets' lives better and work with healthy pets. And then on the veterinary side, of course, you're working with healthy pets sometimes, but you're also working with sick pets. So in my opinion, the vet world is sometimes a little bit more of a tough job, whereas on the animal science side of things and the pet food side of things, sure, there's toughness with the job, but the whole industry is just so focused on making pets' lives better. And it's every company kind of does things a little bit different, but we're all on the same mission to kind of just make pets' lives better. So I love to talk to students about all the opportunities that there are outside of vet school, so that if they decide not to go that,
I like that. And the other thing is, I don't know, I'm going to be a dog or a cat for a moment. I'm going to be like Sniff. Oh my gosh, here's Natalie Williams from Petcurean, and she smells so delicious because she's making some of the best things for a dog or cat. We don't care about cars. We don't care about jewelry. We don't care about big houses. Give us the good food. So I bet you have a lot of dogs or cats that kind of check you out going, oh yeah. That's the lady making yum. That's the lady making yum.
You spend a day at the plant and I come home, my dog goes nuts. You definitely leave smelling like pet food. But oh yeah, dogs and cats love it.
And let's talk about the four-legger in your life, because you showed me a picture before we started recording, and what a cutie pie. Tell us about your little dog.
So I have a 5-year-old miniature dachshund. His name is Gus. He's the best.
Gus is the best.
Fun fact about him is about half an hour from Guelph is a town called Elora, and they do horse races in Elora. And every year during one of the horse races, they stop in between and they do a wiener dog race. So the 30 wiener dogs, they all race. And Gus is the reigning champion for the last 2 years.
How long of a distance is he taking those short legs?
100 meters, not even.
Okay.
And he's going for the three-peat this July.
Well,
So-
I'm rooting for Gus. I mean, that is so cool. I mean, it's such short legs, but they can move them fast, can't they?
He can move. He's one of the fastest dogs I've ever seen.
So are you at the finish line beckoning him toward you?
That's right. Yeah. My husband is on one end and I'm on the other end, and you release and hopefully they run in a straight line.
And give a shout to your husband, because he's probably listening.
Well, hi, Connor.
Hi, Connor. Okay. So you got a fancy title. You've worked your way up. You are the nutrition manager at Petcurean. And I know there's a lot of brands out there, but what I loved about reaching out to you is yours is based in Canada, number one.
Right.
And it seems like you're always evolving, number two. And number three, you're paying attention to a term that needs to be said more often, sustainability.
Definitely. So
go ahead.
yeah, totally. So a little bit about Petcurean. We've been around for 25 years. The company started with two best friends, Dan and Ron, and their mission was just to bring better pet food to pets. So as a company, we have 4 different brands: Go Solutions, Now Fresh, Summit, and Gather. But Petcurean as a whole is very committed to sustainability as it pertains to pets, of course, people, and the planet. And one of the things that I'm most proud of in working for this company is the steps that we've taken to kind of try to be a leader in the industry in terms of sustainability. One of the things
for the one person on the planet that does not know what that term means, can you kind of put it to what it means and how it applies to pet food?
Definitely. So sustainability is a massive term. A lot of people think that it just has to do with the environment, but it's a whole lot more than that. Of course, there's an environmental portion of sustainability in terms of, your carbon emissions and the kind of packaging that you're using. But it also has to do with things like ethics, like where you're sourcing your ingredients from and the practices that are put in place of the suppliers that you're working on and working with. And then also the things that you are doing for your people and for the community. So it's a very broad term that has a lot of different pieces to it. So in how Petcurean kind of delivers on our mission to be more sustainable is in a few different ways. One of the things that we did that's really cool, back in 2022, we were one of 5 companies to sign the Pet Sustainability Coalition's packaging pledge. It was us committing to switching to all recycle-ready packaging by 2025.
What was the term, all recycle-ready?
Recycle-ready packaging, yeah. So that's a huge step. Unfortunately, a big part of pet food is packaging.
Yes.
And rather than that going to the waste stream, we wanted to be one of the leaders in the industry to kind of change that movement. So back in 2023, we started our first recyclable packaging that's on the shelves now, and we're slowly transitioning everything over.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. Yeah. So
it's awesome. There's a lot of other companies following suit now. It's going to slowly make its way, I think, to cover the whole industry because everybody understands the impact that it has, and we want to do whatever we can to lessen that. We call it our paw print.
Oh, I like it. Hey, Pet Pals, we're speaking with Natalie Williams. She is the nutrition manager at Petcurean, and we're going to dive into some more nutrition issues because we got a lot of people here with dogs and cats that seem to have invisible watches, and they know when mealtime is. And she's going to go through some tips that might help us on portion and reading the label. So you all know the drill. We're going to sit, stay. We'll be right back.
Hey, have you heard? Four-Legged Life has a new digital newsletter. Here, let me show you how you get yourself subscribed. So you just type in Four-Legged Life and that'll take you to the website. There we go. And this magic thing just appears, and you type in your email address. I'll use, let's see, how about coolestdogever@gmail.com. That's me. And then you just click on this thing here. There you go. It's the new digital newsletter from Four-Legged Life. Get subscribed today.
I'm dishing, I love that word, with a very top nutrition expert. She is Natalie Williams. She is the nutrition manager at Petcurean. It is based in Canada. And we talked a little bit about sustainability earlier on. But I know I teach pet first aid, but I also teach about how to avoid like mealtime mayhem and portions and bloat and some other issues. And I have to tread very carefully because it seems like when you talk about pet food, everyone seems to be a born expert. You know, is it raw? Is it kibble? Is it canned? Is it freeze-dried? Everybody knows. So I always try to be very diplomatic because I say sometimes talking about pet food is like talking religion and politics in the same breath. You're going to have a food fight. But you have a master's and you're the nutrition manager at a up-and-coming, fast-growing pet food brand. So you're in a little different spot than me. So you know things. You work for a company. So can you guide us diplomatically so people realize what your mission is? Your pure mission is to make sure pets aren't overweight and that pets are eating good things. So how do you deal with that part?
Absolutely. And you know what? I get asked very often as a pet nutritionist, what is the best?
Yeah.
And my answer always is it depends.
Good.
So one of our missions at Petcurean is that there's no one size fits all approach. Every single pet is different. So that's why our different brands offer a wide variety of food types and food formats because there's no one size fits all approach. So as a pet parent, you really need to work to figure out what's going to work for your pet. And if that's Petcurean food, great. If it's not, great. You know, our customer care.
How do we find that out? What are some tips? You know, reading the label, things like that, but give us some guidance.
So I would say, I always talk to people, you know, when they're coming home with a new puppy, how do they figure out which way to go? So in terms of pet nutrition, it's kind of a mix of what your personal philosophy is, the kind of ingredients that you're looking for, and then of course, figuring out what is good for your pet. So I always really educate people on how to read the back of a bag of pet food. I would never tell somebody to pick a bag of food without flipping over the bag and taking a look at what's in the food. And most importantly, we talk about at Petcurean, you know, ingredients are the vessels for providing nutrients to pets, and different ingredients can be used to provide that nutrition. But ultimately, it's the nutrition that the pet needs. So
what should be the headliners on the ingredient list?
So at Petcurean, we use a lot of fresh meats, nutrient-rich meat meals, fruits and vegetables. We have both grain inclusive and grain-free options. I always recommend looking for a food with supplemental vitamins and minerals because you know that food is going to be complete and balanced. If you haven't heard the term complete and balanced before, it's probably one of the most important things in pet nutrition. Thinking about how pets eat, a lot of them are eating, you know, one food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a long amount of time. So when a food is complete and balanced, it means it has all the nutrients that pet needs to be that pet's sole source of nutrition. So in pet food, that's extremely important because of how we feed our pets. Humans are a little bit different. We can have something different for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, something different every day. And that's how we get a complete and balanced diet. But with pets, we feed them a little bit different. So choosing a complete and balanced food that's specific to the pet's life stage or breed size is one of the first things that I recommend a pet parent.
Well, you mentioned you all have, like, I think you said 5 brands, 4
different brands.
4, okay. Go Solutions, Now Fresh, Summit, and Gather. I was paying attention, right?
That's right.
All right, cool. Well, Is it okay? How do you sometimes have a little variety as far as the protein, composition, kibble, canned, whatever, toppers? I mean, how important is it to maybe introduce a variety of quality food, especially to a puppy or a kitten, so that when they get older, they don't get, finicky?
Oh, 100%, especially with kittens and cats.
Yeah.
Cats are, it's called neophobic. So as they get
Neophobic? What is that word?
neophobic means they're scared of new things,
Oh, okay.
especially when it comes to food. So yeah, in a puppy and a kitten, if you can introduce a variety of different flavors and textures, they're much more likely to be less finicky as they grow older. But one of the things to consider when introducing different flavors is proper transition time.
Okay, good.
Switching from one food to another without a proper transition time is one of the things that can lead to digestive upset and loose stool. So we recommend, if transitioning from one food to another, you do it over, 10 days, introduce a little bit as a time before you completely switch them over.
So you don't want to have, we're going to say it, vomit and diarrhea and belly aches, right? That's
for sure. Yeah, transitioning is a big part of that. If you're able to do it a little slower, it's easier on the digestive system to realize that a change is going on. One of the things that we also have in our line of Go Solutions is we have a sensitivities line, which are limited ingredient recipes with different protein sources.
When you say limited, tell people what that means.
It means a single source of protein, as few ingredients as possible to meet the nutritional needs of the pet. So definitely a shorter ingredient list, and it's designed to help those pet parents if they have a food sensitivity. There's less ingredients in it, so it's easier for them to pick out if one ingredient might be causing a sensitivity in their pet.
But when it food allergy, right?
I have a food allergy. Yeah, they're more sensitivities and intolerances can be a little bit of a pain.
Wow. And you work with your veterinarian too. So does Petcurean ever give any kind of talks for veterinarians, or do you have some kind of outreach for them?
So at Petcurean, we make food for healthy pets. We oftentimes have people reaching out to our team when their pet is diagnosed with a certain disease state. And our first step there is to recommend that they go to their veterinarian. There's very different foods for healthy pets and those with some kind of a disease. There's even prescription recipes that are designed specifically for those certain disease states that are kind of more like a medicine and less like a food. But we do know that there's certain nutritional interventions that can help with certain disease states. For example, a diabetic cat might benefit from a higher protein and a lower fat diet. Good. So we can always say, this is our highest protein, lowest fat diet.
I like that.
Please take this to your vet and consult with them and see if they think it's a good option as well.
How do people find out about Petcurean?
We sell in a lot of pet specialty retailers across Canada, the US, and more than 30 countries around the world. But you can always go to our website, petcurean.com, to learn more about us. And all of our brands can be found, all of our brand websites can be found through that website as well.
We just have about a minute left, so I'm always curious when I talk to a food expert in the pet industry. Okay, come on. You've had to try the food, the kibble.
You know what? I have.
Come on. Fess up.
I have.
Tell us what one you really like. And
you know what? I made the mistake actually of trying a fish-based diet, which, as you expect, is very fishy. That's why I love it.
Yeah.
But, mostly it's just crunchy. Wouldn't necessarily be my first pick for myself, but it would always be my first pick for my dog.
Yeah.
And our wet foods I've also tried as well. Those are super rich in meat.
Is it weird? Do you warm them up or did you eat them at room temperature?
I just tried them at room temperature. I've always heard that those good product developers have to try their product. So I have.
And because you are a nutritional manager and you got a master's in nutrition, are you a good cook at home? Just curious.
I love to cook.
You do? Okay. So what is something that is a Natalie special?
Oh, my my favorite thing to cook recently is a mushroom gnocchi with gorgonzola cheese and truffle oil. It's delicious. I'll make it once a week if my husband's up to eat gnocchi once a week.
I love it. Hey, everyone. We've had on our show Natalie Williams. She's the nutrition manager at Petcurean. Check out Petcurean.com. You want to spell that for everybody?
Petcurean.
All right.
Thanks so much for your time today, Arden.
Thanks so much for making our tails wag by watching this guest interview from Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life. Make sure to subscribe so you're up to date with all of our Four-Legged Life content.